So, fasting is one of the obligatory deeds in Islam, and it's something that most people are familiar with. And when people usually are introduced to fasting, it's associated with Ramadan. And for a lot of people, especially in their introduction to Islam, fasting is something that's exclusive to Ramadan. Just like Ramadan is special for fasting, fasting is special because of Ramadan. So there's really not a wide concept, there's not a really well-known concept or an idea of fasting outside of the month of Ramadan. So for this very same reason, the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us and instituted a special practice. So if somebody's not familiar with the Islamic calendar, the way that it's laid out is you have the month of Ramadan, and what we call the day of Eid, a lot of times we perceive that to be the last day of Ramadan. It's actually not. It's the first day of the following month. So the way I always like to explain it is the day of Eid is the first day of the rest of the year. And so that's called the month of Shawwal. In Arabic, the name of that month is Shawwal, the month after Ramadan. So that first day of Shawwal, which is the day of Eid, you're not allowed to fast on that day. Like, it's not a sign of piety, it's not any type of, virtue. In fact, it's considered impermissible to fast on that day. If somebody fasted knowingly that it's wrong to fast on that day, they would actually be sinful for fasting on that day. Because the Prophet said, don't fast today. Eat, drink, spend time with loved ones, go have a good time. Enjoy the blessings of Allah. So we're not supposed to fast on that day. Now, the second day of the month of Shawwal, the day after Eid, now it's back to normal. So the rest of the month of Shawwal is just a normal month. So the Prophet ﷺ, it's a very well-known, authentic narration. It's narrated by a Sahabi by the name of Abu Ayyub al-Ansari. He's a companion of the Prophet ﷺ, one of the senior companions. He narrates this narration. It's found in the Sahih Muslim, which is an authentic collection of hadith, that the Prophet ﷺ said, Man sama Ramadana, whoever fasted the month of Ramadan, thumma, and then after that, meaning after Ramadan is over, the word thumma always means after the fact, atba'ahu sittam min Shawwal, then he follows up the month of Ramadan with 6 fasts from the month of Shawwal, kana ka siyam ad-dahri, the reward will be equal or will be similar to fasting an entire year. So there's two, the word the Prophet used was the word dahar. The word dahar has 2 meanings. The first meaning of the word dahar is it means a year. The second meaning of the word dahar, it can also mean the rest of your life. So whoever fasts the month of Ramadan, and then when Ramadan's over, meaning you take out the day of Eid, from that very next day, so if Monday is Eid for somebody, starting from Tuesday, if Tuesday is Eid for somebody, starting Wednesday, from there till the end of that month of Shawwal, if somebody was to fast just for 6 days, they would get the reward of fasting at the very least an entire year, and at the most they would get the reward of fasting for the rest of their lives. And so it's an unbelievable reward. Now, I wanted to explain a little bit about, well, are there any particulars about fasting those 6 days during that month, right? Because can I fast, do I have to fast all 6 of them together, like in a row? Do they have to be in sequence? Because you're kind of in that Ramadan zone where you figure you fasted 29 or 30 days in a row, I got to do these 6 together in a row right off the bat. Or can you spread them out? Or are there any particular days of the week that are extra preferred? So based off of that, the scholars have multiple opinions because they kind of look at the practices of the earlier generations, the companions of the Prophet and their students, and how did they exactly handle this. And so there is some evidence there of the fact that most of them used to prefer to do all 6 in a row in succession from that second day, the day after Eid, just fast 6 days straight and just kind of be done with it. And it makes sense from a practical perspective as well. You're still kind of in that zone of Ramadan, so it's easier to do it before you kind of spoil yourself again by eating and drinking during the daytime. So just go ahead and knock it out while you're still kind of in the Ramadan zone. So there is some evidence of the fact that it's a little bit more preferred to just do the 6 right off the bat together in succession, mutatabi'atan. However, at the same time though, it is okay to spread them out throughout the whole month. So you could do one, then, you could do them like 5 days apart and fast them all throughout the month and just do one every 4 to 5 days. And that would be completely legitimate and completely okay. If somebody is gonna spread them out, I do have a recommendation. The recommendation would be that if you are gonna spread them out, then try to do those 6 days in the next 3 weeks on Mondays and Thursdays. And the reason why I would recommend that, and this is kind of interesting, because you're combining multiple sunnahs together, all right? It's like Voltron fasting, right? So Mondays and Thursdays, that was a really old reference, but Mondays and Thursdays are sunnah fast, right? Like the Prophet used to like fasting Mondays and Thursdays, and that was his regular practice. So now think about it. If you're fasting the 6 days in Shawwal, and Mondays and Thursdays is also good for fasting, if you're not doing all 6 in a row the way they used to originally do it, and you're gonna spread it out, which is allowed, then why not just kind of combine 2 good practices together? I will fast 6 in this month, but on Mondays and Thursdays. And so it'd be really great kind of, and again, the other thing you'd be doing without realizing it is, for the next 3 weeks, you'd be training yourself to fast Mondays and Thursdays. And who knows, the 4th week rolls around, you're done with your 6, but you're kind of like, Monday morning you wake up and I'm like, I'm just gonna fast. Because I'm in the zone, I might as well. I got this habit. And imagine if you started fasting every Monday and every Thursday for the rest of the year. I mean, that's just unbelievable. To be like in that type of spiritual shape. Just like somebody talks about, like they play basketball like 3 times a week and they're just like, I'm in good shape, I'm in the zone, I'm warmed up, I'm always ready to ball. Like whatever it is that somebody does. Imagine if you fast that regularly throughout the year, the impact that it would have on you. It'd be awesome. The last thing that I wanted to kind of mention, I didn't want to convolute the issues too much with technical stuff. But I didn't want to explain this because this is a really important question. What do folks do who might have been sick or traveling, especially sisters, who were not able to fast for certain days during Ramadan and they have fast to make up? So let's just say a sister has 6 fasts that she has to make up after Ramadan. Well, she can do 6 in that month after Ramadan and it'll count as both. It'll count as your makeup fast and as these 6 fasts in the month after Ramadan. Like you get double the reward. You can kind of combine 2 things together, 2 for the price of 1. So that's completely legitimate and that's completely okay. That's just the beauty of our religion. Like it doesn't put us in tight spots and it allows us to do a lot in a little bit of time. So that's a little bit about the structure and the history and the layout of the fasting of the 6 days in the month of Shawwal. Spiritually speaking, why this was instituted and advocated by the Prophet ﷺ is actually really simple and easy to understand. It's because what we do in Ramadan is really special, but it's not practical to expect people to fast every single day for the rest of their lives. That's not going to happen. So the Prophet ﷺ picked kind of like this healthy balance. We're 6 days in a month, which is not too much. It's not too little either, where you fast 1 day in a month and you don't really even realize it, you don't feel the impact of it. 6 days is substantial enough to where you kind of feel it. And so in the next month after Ramadan, if I can just go down from 30 fasts to 6, and I can kind of strike some type of a balance here and I can maintain that, that's a really healthy way to go forward the rest of the year. And when the next Ramadan comes around, you'll naturally feel how much you benefited from that, inshallah. So going back to where we started, 6 days of fasting in the month of Shawwal, and it's going to be difficult because everybody's not fasting anymore. It's not Ramadan time, and so it's a little bit more difficult. But if somebody can fast for 6 days in the month of Shawwal, you get the reward of fasting an entire year, and even possibly the reward of fasting the rest of your life. So it's a really awesome practice and a really noble reward, and something we should definitely try to do.
Do you ever get worried that your child may click on the wrong video online? Do you wish there was a safe channel for your peace of mind? Well, there is. The #1 rated Muslim kids channel in the world, One for Kids TV, is here to solve all these issues. The channel has no advertisements and is safe for your children to browse and watch their favorite videos. With a wide selection of cartoons, songs, educational videos, and much more, your children will not only stay entertained, but also learn so much about their deen. You can listen to songs while your device is switched off, and you can download videos to watch them offline. One for Kids TV is 100% run and owned by Muslims, which means the small amount you pay for your subscription is a continuous charity for you, as all the funds raised go towards the production of new cartoons and educational films for your children. The One for Kids TV app is now available on Apple devices, Apple TV, Android devices, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku, so you can watch on most devices and smart TVs. Download now for a free 14-day trial.